Hello BookTube, it's Ben here from the History Fellow channel. I hope you're all very well indeed and in fine fettle. It's a couple of days now since Christmas, so hopefully you've all had a good time, plenty to eat, lots of fun and plenty of presents and gifts that you've wanted. And then obviously the odd weird looking present that you've had from grandma or something like that. But I hope you're all keeping well and you've all managed to spend plenty of good time with family and friends and loved ones, and you've all managed to avoid the dreaded Omicron or COVID, and you're all safe and well. But anyway, this particular video I thought I'd do I've recently done a second-hand book haul, and then I thought afterwards I'd show you some of the books that I got for Christmas too. I only got a few this year, which is good, because last year I think I got about 10, and I've probably not finished reading them all yet. So, but anyway, I found this. I had a bit of spare cash in my PayPal account, and found this second-hand bookshop online. So thought I'd have a trawl through it, and luckily they had an offer on for what was it, 5 books for £10, I think. So I went through and found 10. Although I probably could have found 20, 30 as well, but I just restricted myself to a small box of books in the post. So here they are. First one is Churchills Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. The Mavericks Who Plotted Hitler's Defeat, and that's written by Giles Milton and published by John Murray. I've actually got a copy of this on Audible. I listen to it quite regularly on that throughout the night, and it's a really good read. It's one of the best books I've probably read in the last 5 years. It's like a boys' own commando book, where it's full of all the stories of all the exciting bits that happened during World War II, all the Allied missions and secret missions, and just the conduct and behaviour, and it also does a lot of the secret stuff and behind the scenes things that weren't being told to the public. But it's a really fascinating read, and I can't recommend this book highly enough. So I thought actually if I enjoy listening to the Audible book, I quite fancy getting a copy of the book and reading through it as well, just to see if there's any difference, but also I know I'd enjoy it. So that's that book, Churchill's Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, and that's by Giles Milton. A brilliant book. Right, the second one is another World War II book, and it involves Operation Mincemeat, written by Ben McIntyre, and that's published by, this is a Bloomsbury book. #1 bestseller of the author of Agent Zigzag, the true spy story that changed the course of World War II. I'm sure probably many of you have already heard about this, but it involves using the body of a homeless man and dressing him up as a I think I haven't actually read this particular book yet, but I think he's made the body's dressed up in the uniform of a naval officer and then dumped in the sea down by Spain, and then of course Spain find him floating in the water, and of course there's a briefcase attached to him, and there's all these documents that have been made up, and it's all part of a secret plot to fool the Nazis. So it's a really good book and really compelling to read. The first, on the back, it's got a rollicking good read for all those who enjoy a spy story so fanciful that Ian Fleming himself, as an officer in Montague's wartime department, would never have dared to invent it. And that's from Max Hastings of the Sunday Times. One more quote: "McIntyre has a journalist's nose for a great story and a novelist's skill in his narration, and it's spellbinding with 4 stars." From the blurb for the actual book is: "One overcast April morning in 1943, a fisherman notices a corpse floating in the sea off the coast of Spain. When the body is brought ashore, it is identified as a British soldier, Major William Martin of the Royal Marines. A leather attaché case secured to his belt reveals an intelligence gold mine, top secret Allied invasion plans. But Major William Martin never existed. The body was in fact that of a dead Welsh tramp, and every single document is fake. Operation Mincemeat is a true story of the most extraordinary deception ever planned by Churchill's spies. An outrageous lie that travelled from a Whitehall basement all the way to Hitler's desk." Another good read. I've obviously heard of the story before, but I wanted to read the book, so I bought that one as well. The next one is on a different note. We have a book about the Victorians by A.N. Wilson, and that is published by Random House Books. It's a nice thick one. I've actually had I've had my eye on this book for a while. I love the Victorian era. It's kind of a century of new things, discovery, lots of things going on in society. Britain really seemed to prosper in the Victorian era, so I just really wanted to have a good read. On the back it says, people, not abstract ideas, make history, and nowhere is this more revealed than in A.N. Wilson's superb portrait of the Victorians, in which hundreds of different lives have been pieced together to tell a story, one which is still unfinished in our own day. And obviously later on I'll try and be able to read properly. But it's a nice chunky book. It covers everything from people to crime to agriculture to industry, to international British stuff that Brits achieved, and it's going to be a thoroughly good read, hopefully. Now the next one was a mistake. This is The First World War by John Keegan, and it's published by Pembrokeshire. Now I had this book about 4 or 5 years ago, and I remember reading the first chapter and thinking, oh, it was really good. But then I think I made the danger of lending it out to a friend, and of course never got it back. And that's what I was thinking when I ordered these books. I saw the book come up and thought, oh, I remember reading that, or starting to read it. I'll buy the second-hand copy. Forgetting that I had already found a copy, a hardback copy in a much newer condition with a different cover on. And that's probably what didn't click in my mind. So yes, I've got this now in hardback and paperback in 2 different cover designs. So I'm going to be genning up a lot on the First World War. But that's just a general book or a general overview of the war, but I really enjoyed the first chapter in this, and it was recommended to me many years ago as a good book to get into World War One. Well, I've obviously got into World War One since, but I've really fancied reading the whole thing. Now then, the next one, or the last one I got, is over here in the UK for American viewers. We have had a programme called Dad's Army, which was written and made in the late 50s, and it's about the Volunteer Defence Force. Basically, it was for all the gentlemen that weren't physically fit or physically well, or if you were too old to join the army during the Second World War, you could join the Volunteer Defence Force, and it was your job to help defend your village should England be invaded by the Germans. And what has happened was the BBC wrote a comedy, obviously after the Second World War, about this group of men, and they were called the Dad's Army. And this book is written by Bill Pertwee, who plays the ARP warden in the comedy, and it's a book all about him and what goes on, that sort of thing. Let me find there's a couple of pictures on the inside. There's Corporal Jones, and of course, like any good sitcom, it's full of characters and they've all got their funny quirks, and there's the gang there. So I just really wanted to get this because I'm a big fan of the show, and I've got the book with all the scripts in, so I thought, well, why not get this as well? And it'd be a bit of fun. So I'm looking forward to flicking through that. Probably New Year. So that's those 5. And then quickly moving on to what I got for Christmas. 3 books from The Good Lady Wife. The first one is The Ordnance Survey Journey Through Time. I'm not sure there's a particular author. It's just published by the Ordnance Survey, so it's probably from a team of writers. On the book, I haven't read either of the of the 3 books. I haven't read any of them yet. But on this back of this one, explore the most fascinating and inspiring moments of British history in this extraordinary adventure that will take you from the prehistoric era to the present day, with 40 brand new maps highlighting historical events that have shaped our modern landscape and viewpoints. The Ordnance Survey Journey Through Time is a treasure trove for any puzzle enthusiast, with over 300 puzzles ranging from easy to fiendish, including code crackers, anagrams, word games and more. There are puzzles to put every family member and friend through their paces. And then basically, like in various chapters, they cover various parts of history from prehistoric up to the present day, like it said. But it's things like, you've got, if I can get me books out of the way, it's got easy, hard and difficult, and then you've got maps that you have to work out the problems or find the solutions to. It comes in easy, medium, tricky and challenging. So I quite like maps. In fact, I really like maps. After spending 30 years in scouting and teaching people how to read maps, it becomes quite enjoyable after that amount of time. So that was that one. The Journey Through Time. And then the second one is Secret Britain. That's a journey through the Second World War's hidden bases and battlegrounds, written by Sinclair Mackay, and that is published by Headline Books. This copy was £16.99, and obviously from the title it tells you all about everything that was secret during the Second World War. A journey through the Second World War's hidden bases and battlegrounds. In the years when national character was shaped by war and grief and sadness seemed to permeate the landscape, the incredible clandestine work that took place in Britain's secret properties, estates and terrains fundamentally spoke of an optimism and belief that even the most terrible of enemies could be vanquished. So that's going to be good. I'm going to be looking at learn about new planes, new RAF bases, things that have slipped through the net, so that's going to be good. And then finally, a more general book, but it's just about the Second World War, and it's called the Armchair General. Can You Defeat the Nazis? And written by John Buckley. And this, on the back of this one, it says 7th of May 1940, Britain's darkest hour. You are a key power broker in Parliament. Britain's situation in the war against Hitler's Germany is unravelling rapidly after a disastrous campaign in Norway that has left thousands of Allied troops dead and the Third Reich in the ascendancy. Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain will be unseated in a matter of days and his government replaced by a national coalition. But the dilemma facing you, one of the kingmakers of the House of Commons, is who is to be best suited to lead Britain and its empire through the rest of the war. Decision. Should you put your support behind Lord Halifax, the popular politician revered by the King, or should you back the maverick Winston Churchill, or wildcard responsible for the disaster in Gallipoli? And it's basically one of those books about, alternate histories. What if the Germans had done this or gone there or had this many troops, and then you make a decision. And then you go from there. But it looks good, and I'll give that a good read. And that's the Armchair General. Oh, and that book's published by Penguin. So there we go. There's the book. They're the books I've got for Christmas and my second-hand book haul. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you're having a really good Christmas time, and I would like to say best of luck and many happy returns, and I hope everybody has a great year in the coming year. I hope it really goes well for everybody, and it's about time we got rid of this COVID stuff. But anyway, thank you very much from me. Finally, thank you very much to everybody for watching this year. I might do a couple of videos in the next few days, but if not, I wish everyone a very happy new year, and I'll see you very soon.